Hey guys, today we're going to be taking a look at the updated version of the PAKT Travel Backpack. We looked at the original version a while back on the channel and there was a lot that I liked about that bag, and it looks like PAKT really went back to the drawing board and made a lot of improvements with this edition. One of the biggest updates is the creation of a daily bag. This is a 15-liter bag that's meant to pair with the travel backpack to create a really interesting travel system. And so in this video, I'm going to be talking about what it's been like to use these over the past couple of weeks. I'll show you how I've loaded them out, walk through all the features, and I'll talk about how they compare to some of the other similar bags that are currently on the market. Before jumping into the video, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Danny, and on this channel, we love reviewing popular travel and everyday carry gear. If you like these types of videos and you'd be interested in seeing more, please consider subscribing as it helps the channel out a lot. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. Starting off with the outside of the bag, I really like the overall aesthetic. The look was one of my favorite aspects of the original version of the bag, and the silhouette has been updated here. It feels a little more rounded and modern, but it maintains the same minimal, more classic vibe of the original. Slightly outdoorsy, definitely not a techie feeling bag like some of the other kind of shinier options on the market. It reminds me a little bit of a Manal or an Evergood style bag, which I'm always a big fan of. So a really versatile look that is going to work well for any type of travel that you're doing, whether it's going to involve just walking around the city, moving from airports to hotels, or to even taking this into the outdoors. As far as the materials, the bag feels really solidly built. It definitely feels like they've used premium materials all throughout. This exterior fabric is a recycled nylon that feels like it's going to hold up well to rougher usage. It also has a DWR coating that's going to help add some additional protection if you happen to get caught in some rain. And then you have some very smooth working and reliable YKK zippers all throughout. Continuing along the outside of the bag, I was happy to see that you have an external water bottle pocket. This offers a pretty good amount of space. I was able to fit the 20-ounce water bottle that I typically have with me, and that fits in there comfortably. You have some good elasticity to the compartments, so you could probably fit something a little bit larger with how much it comes out. For this bottle though, it works perfectly. On the inside of this compartment, you also have a bungee cord that will allow you to secure different types of water bottle to just kind of prevent anything from sliding out when you place the bag down on its side. So really nice addition there. And then when the compartment's not in use, it hugs the bag nicely. Along the side, you'll also notice that there's a couple of attachment points, both on this side and the other side. And on the previous edition of the backpack, PAKT included some straps that you could move around the bag depending on how you wanted to use them. This time it's a little bit differently. They're actually attached to the sides and you can hide them away in these pockets if they're not going to be in use, which I think is a really interesting idea, as it means that the straps aren't going to get lost. It's not something that you have to remember to pack out, and then they're always available for when you want to attach something to the outside of the bag. So they have these really secure, easy to use clips that pair with the strap itself. And then with this on the sides, it's going to be great for attaching something like a tripod or a jacket that doesn't fit on the inside of the bag. And then if you're not going to be using them, you can just tuck them away and just have a more minimal look. On the side of the bag that doesn't have the water bottle pocket, you have a couple of handles that are going to allow you to carry this in briefcase mode if you don't want to wear it on your back. This is also really useful for the split layout that PAKT employs in their bags, which we'll take a closer look at later in the video. The handles themselves feel very comfortable and well built. It's got a thick seatbelt-like material. They're pretty cushioned, so even when the bag is a little more packed out, it doesn't feel like it's going to dig in or be uncomfortable. You have a similar style handle at the top, so again, great for just picking the bag up, loading it into an overhead storage compartment. And you have a handle at the bottom, same style. So really any direction that you want to grab this, from the bottom, top, or the side, you're going to have a lot of different ways to just maneuver the bag regardless of where you're needing to store it. And then you also have an additional little loop on the back that's going to be perfect for hanging the bag up when it's not in use. The last thing I'll call out on the front of the bag is that you have the PAKT logo down near the bottom. I like that it's fairly subtle and out of the way. And you have a little loop here that's going to be a good spot to attach a light to give yourself some additional visibility if you happen to be maybe hiking, walking around at night, or riding your bike. As far as the capacity, the version that I have here comes in at about 35 liters. There is a 45 liter version now as well if you need a little bit more space, but to me, this 35 liter size is kind of the sweet spot for carrying onto a variety of domestic and international airlines without having to worry about checking the bag. I've traveled with this size of bag in a ton of different places and it's always worked out well. So just a really versatile size that's gonna be able to hold enough for a week or longer of travel depending on how I'm packing. And I like that this has been bumped up from the 30 liters that the original version was. This 35 liters gives you just a little more space without feeling a ton bigger. And I like that even when it's a little more packed out, it never feels overwhelmingly big or bulky, which makes it great for navigating crowded areas or jumping onto public transit. Taking a look at the harness system, so far the bag has been really comfortable to wear. There's been quite a few updates here which I think have made this a way better experience than the previous version. That one was comfortable, but this one just kind of takes it to the next level. The padding that's been included on the straps here is a lot more robust. And on the inside, you have a nice breathable mesh to help prevent moisture from building up. And these straps also have a great width to help prevent the bag from digging into your shoulders when it's a little more packed out. At the top, you have load lifters that are going to allow you to pull the weight of the bag closer to you and just kind of tweak how it sits on your back a little bit better. The original had this, but the way that the straps have been built here, particularly with this new kind of thinner strap system that allows them to move more freely, it all just works a little bit better. It's felt great on my shoulders. On the straps, you also have a couple of loops that are going to allow you to hang your sunglasses or maybe clip on a light. And then you have an adjustable and removable sternum strap to help distribute the weight. If you want to give the bag a cleaner look or just make it a little bit easier to stow in an overhead storage compartment, or in case you need to check the larger version of the bag, you do have the ability to hide the straps away. They have these carabiners at the bottom which are very easy to release and attach, and then you can tuck the straps away in this sleeve behind the back panel. Moving into the back paneling, this has also been really comfortable. I like the improvements that have been made from the previous edition. The padding that's here just feels softer, more comfortable right out of the box. It's well distributed all throughout the back. You have the same breathability that we saw on the straps, along with some elevation here to create some air channels that are going to provide some airflow while you're walking around. And at the bottom, you also have this little flap that comes up. It is attached with magnets at the bottom, which is always cool to see. And this has two different sort of purposes. The first one being that you have the ability to attach a waist belt that's included with the bag. This is one change that I was a little bit sad about, as I thought it was so creative in the previous edition that the waist belt could be removed to double as a sling bag. And the sling bag that PAKT created is actually quite a capable one. They have a few sling bag options with their Anywhere collection, but the one that was incorporated into the bag was very cool to just use as a waist belt, remove it, and then you had an additional solution. Now you just have kind of a more straightforward, simple strap that you can attach and remove, which, they get the job done. They're not the most comfortable. I tend to not use them, particularly with a bag of this size, but it's good that you have the option if you want to use them. And in this area, you also have a feature that is very distinct to PAKT's bags, and that is this airport security zippered pouch that's attached to the bag. And they've had this in their duffel bag and in their travel backpack. It's a great area with a bright orange strap for you to place your phone, your wallet, your keys, anything that's sort of in your pocket. You can take it out, quickly toss it in there while you're going through TSA, and then you won't really have to worry about accidentally leaving it behind or anything getting lost. And then the last feature that I'll mention on the back is that you have a nice luggage pass-through that's secured with magnets on each side that's going to allow you to rest this on a suitcase while traveling to save some weight on your back. Jumping into the organizational options, the bag has a nice variety of pockets all throughout. The layout has been updated a bit from the previous edition. Starting off on the front, you have a couple of quick access pockets. First up on the bottom, you have a simpler compartment that does offer a good amount of volume. I always like when these pockets give you more flexibility, as the types of items that I might be reaching for a little bit more regularly, particularly while I'm on my trip, might be bulkier. So in this area, I was able to store my sunglasses with their case. I also placed a Tom Bin Ghost Wool pouch with some of the tech and EDC accessories that I use while I'm on the flight, and I was able to squeeze in my GoPro. Above that, you have a slightly larger admin style compartment with some good internal organization. So the zippers here allow it to open up enough so that you can really see clearly into the space. It also has a good amount of depth and volume. Again, I really like how much this comes up, just gives you some extra flexibility for pouches, for gloves, jacket, anything that you might be using while you're on the go, and if not, for just resting items that you grab a lot that didn't fit into some of the internal organization here. So on the front, I just rested a cable with the wall brick to charge my phone, as well as an additional adapter for my laptop and tablet, and a portable battery. I just kind of had those floating on the front, but then On the back, you have some good slip pockets. You have a larger one here that comes up a decent amount, so a good spot maybe for a laptop charger, a bigger mouse. Currently what I have in here is just an additional USB-C cable for my iPad as well as my Magic Mouse. And then next to that, you have a slightly smaller slip pocket that's gonna be a great size for a travel wallet, maybe your passport. In my case, I currently just have a Field Notes notebook there. And in this slip pocket, PAKT has also included a hidden AirTag compartment at the bottom. It's a little bit tough to show here, which is kind of the point, so that it's not easy to find if somebody happens to take your bag or if it gets misplaced. It's nice that you can include that in there to prevent the AirTag from falling out and to just have a little bit more peace of mind while you're on the go. You have a zippered mesh compartment as well. I like that it has the mesh, so you can see on the inside, the zipper is going to keep anything smaller from slipping out. What I currently have here is my Samsung hard drive along with its USB cable. And then on the back, you have a larger slip pocket that is going to be a great spot for something like a Kindle or a smaller tablet. Currently what I have here is my iPad mini. Even with its case, it's able to fit in there. This area also has a magnetic closure to just secure anything that you're placing in here. At the top, you have a loop that's going to be a good spot to hold a pen or a stylus, maybe a thinner flashlight. And in this compartment, you also have a lanyard with a plastic clip that's going to be a great spot for your keys or a multi-tool like the Gerber shard that I have here. The next area that we're going to be taking a look at is a new compartment. On the previous edition of the bag, PAKT had a large quick access pocket that had a waterproof lining. So it was meant to be a place to store your liquids in case there was any sort of a spill or maybe a bathing suit that was wet, to keep it separate from the rest of the items in your bag. That has now been changed so that it is a larger, deeper compartment that can also expand. So when you release the zippers, you get about 10 more liters of volume out of the bag. So that's great for just some additional flexibility if you happen to pick some items up while you are on your trip, or if you need to carry a little bit more for a particular adventure. It's great to see how much this expands up. And then you have a zipper to get into the compartment. It goes all the way down. This is just a simple additional larger compartment of space that you can use to pack anything that you want to carry with you, but it was designed to hold the packable day bag that we're also going to be taking a look at in this video. It fits very comfortably into this compartment even when the rest of the bag is packed out. Because it expands up, you can toss the daily bag in there and then easily access it when you arrive at your destination. Or you can just use this to toss in additional clothes, an extra pair of shoes, more pouches and EDC items. So I really like the flexibility that's provided there, although I will miss the waterproof compartment that they previously had. Before jumping into the main area, I did want to call out a few things about the zipper layout that they have here. One of the things I've always liked about PAKT's bags is that they provide the ability to access each section of the main compartment without opening it all the way up. If you need to grab something a little bit more quickly, there's a zipper here at the top, which you can use to reach some of the accessories that I'll talk about in a second that PAKT has created with this bag. And you can reach in from the top there into one section. On the back, there is another zipper that allows you to reach in to this back section, and then you can open up this middle section to be able to reach the laptop compartment that we'll take a closer look at in a second. So again, just like the flexibility and the quick access that this provides. The other note on the zippers, which is interesting just given the more travel focused nature of the bag, is that they don't have the ability to lock in the traditional sense. You can probably use a cable lock through the loops that are included here on the zipper pull, so you can lock them technically, but it just doesn't have what you see on a lot of other travel bags as far as the specific area for the cable lock. So just something that I wanted to call out, but definitely some solutions there regardless. And then opening the main compartment using the suitcase style kind of split opening. This is something that we've seen in the previous version of this bag as well as PAKT's duffel bag, so a very unique aspect of their bags, very much mimicking a suitcase. And this is a layout that I'm not always as crazy about with how it kind of distributes the space. I really like having a more traditional clamshell style opening that just kind of gives you one large bucket, which works particularly well with the pack and cube layout that I tend to travel with. I can see how this layout would be beneficial depending on how you like to organize and separate your stuff. So your mileage will vary depending on your style, and I can see some pros and cons to both. With the additional space that's been provided in this version of the bag, this layout becomes a little bit easier to use, and I've definitely been more into this edition than the prior edition And so you have your two zippered sections. Before jumping into those, we'll take a closer look at the laptop compartment. So a similar style here to what we see in some of PAKT's other bags. Their philosophy is that the laptop rests in the middle so that you have the padding from your clothes, the sleeve, and the other side to keep it protected on all areas. And I think that there is something to that, so that when you place the bag down, as many travel bags, you have the laptop on the back, which works to avoid having it pull the weight away from you. But if you happen to place your bag down, you have all of the weight of everything falling on top of it, which sometimes gives me a little bit of anxiety. And so here it's a little bit better distributed. Again, with your clothes, it just provides additional padding. It also has a padded sleeve itself that closes via zipper. It's accessible via the top. And this sleeve does offer a good amount of padding. You can see the sort of ridged padding here. Feels like your device is going to be well protected. It is pulled up off the bottom of the ground as well. This is going to be able to hold up to a 15 or 16 inch laptop comfortably. Currently what I have here is a 13 inch MacBook Air. You can see there's plenty of leftover space. So a good implementation here. It does feel like it's going to keep your device well protected. The only thing that still gives me a little bit of pause about this layout of having it in the middle is that if you pack out the two main compartments a lot, it sometimes feels like it can put some stress on the screen itself. So you'll just have to keep that in mind as you're organizing everything out. But still, an interesting layout that has felt like it does keep my device safe while I've been traveling. And then starting off on this back compartment, you have a zippered divider that you can unzip to reveal one section of the bag. This is what I would say is kind of the thinner section. In some of the videos that I've seen for PAKT, I noticed they put the packing cubes in here, but I've found that because it's not as large or deep, I prefer to use the other side for packing cubes. So this is what I typically use for the other items that I have in my travel bag. If you watch any of my videos, you'll see that I typically have a dop kit with me, an extra pair of shoes, and sometimes I'll toss in a packable rain jacket, but this could be my puffy jacket, or an additional pair of shoes could even fit in here. There is enough space for that. So I do like having that separation. This is also how I would typically pack out a suitcase, and so it works well. You can access it from the top, which is particularly helpful for grabbing my dop kit or my liquids or something like that. And in this area, you also have a Velcro kind of closure here that holds the frame sheet that you can remove if you need to. And then one additional note on this section of the bag is that in the previous edition, there was a couple of elastic slip pockets on the side that I believe were meant to hold either socks or additional accessories. I never really used them too much. They've been removed here. I don't think that's a huge deal, but something that I wanted to call out. And then moving into the other section of the main compartment, you have a zippered pocket on the divider. It's got this mesh that's going to allow you to see anything that you store on the inside. Might be a good spot for a laundry bag, some cables, smaller items. I wouldn't put anything bulky in here because I wouldn't want it to put pressure on my laptop or just make it a little bit harder to close the bag. So I don't use that compartment quite as much, but it just kind of stays out of the way if you don't want to use it. And then you have a zipper to reveal the other side. I like these zippers as they help kind of compress everything down a little bit. And in this side is where I actually have my packing cube setup. I'm currently using the Peak Design compressible packing cubes that I've been featuring in my recent travel videos. And so I have the smaller one and the larger one, which always gives me a nice amount of flexibility and space for the clothing that I typically travel with. Now with the compartment empty, you can get a better look at the inside. This area has been updated a bit. I like that it's more streamlined and spacious. Because of the quick access pocket that was on the previous edition of the bag, it tended to share some of the volume here at the top. So now you just have an open space here, which gives me more flexibility and space for my packing cubes, which I'm a fan of. And now you also have these rows of webbing along the back, which are meant to pair with a couple of new pouches that PAKT has created that you can clip on to these to give yourselves just a little bit more of a modular setup. I believe they have something that can work as a dop kit, so you can clip it onto this section here, and then you can access it from the top. And so just a nice amount of flexibility there, depending on the accessories that you want to use with the bag. And then if you don't want to use them, the webbing just kind of stays out of the way. So in general, I really like the way that this layout has been improved. I think it works well for giving you a lot of organization for the stuff that you need to carry with me, good laptop protection, and I just really love the updates that have been made all throughout the bag. I was already a fan of the original. I love the aesthetic, and PAKT has just taken it to the next level here. So if you're looking for something that is going to be comfortable and durable and give you a good amount of space, this is going to be a fantastic travel bag to check out. Taking a closer look at the 15-liter day bag, the aesthetic here is similar to the travel backpack, so it's pretty minimal, versatile. It's something that's going to work well in a variety of environments, whether you're taking this in the outdoors, exploring a city, or even going into the office if you're traveling for work. The materials on this are the same as the backpack as well, so the recycled nylon, the YKK zippers make this feel really durable. And then on the outside, you have a variety of attachment points and handles. Handle on the side, handle at the top, so you can pick this up easily to pull it out of the bag or anywhere that you might be storing it. There's a handle on the side that will allow you to carry this in briefcase mode if you want. This is pretty thin and simple, but it feels durable. There's a couple of loops of webbing that are going to be great for pairing with carabiners, hero clip, anything that you want to hang on the outside of the bag. And there's also a variety of loops that are meant to pair with some of the accessories that PAKT sells, or that can also be used to attach additional things. On one of the sides, I actually paired those loops with the removable water bottle pocket that's included with this bag. I thought that was a really cool solution. It allows you to have a simpler layout and cleaner look if you don't tend to carry a water bottle, if you want to place it on the inside, but then you have this modular accessory that you can clip onto the webbing that I was pointing out. And it's a pretty simple, slightly tight sleeve, but I was actually surprised it was able to hold my 20-ounce water bottle because it does expand out. This is also going to be a perfect spot for maybe holding an umbrella that you might want to have with you. So really simple but useful accessory here. You can pull it out, and then if you don't want to use it, whether it's when you're packing the bag out or if you, again, just don't need it and don't really like the look, it has these clips that release easily so that you can take the pocket off and just leave it at home. Down at the bottom, you have an additional loop that's going to be a good spot for a bike light. It also has this lighter stitching, which I believe is reflective to just give you more visibility while you're on the road. Moving into the capacity, as the name says, the bag comes in at about 15 liters, so it's a more compact daily carry bag, but with 15 liters and the simple layout that this offers, it can still hold a decent amount, particularly if you're pairing it with the travel backpack. Probably won't be carrying quite as much on your day-to-day, but enough to hold the typical items that I would have while exploring: jackets, snacks, portable batteries, maybe a drone. And then it maintains a really slim profile, making it great for navigating crowded areas and jumping onto public transit. Taking a look at the harness system so far, the bag has been pretty comfortable to wear. This is probably the area that could use the most improvement, maybe in a future edition. There is a lot of efforts to make this a very flexible layout, but I think it ends up sacrificing some of the comfort. It does also help with weight and the amount of space that this takes up in the bag. So what I mean by that is the straps are really thin. There's not a ton of padding or anything like that on these. So it's a very simple seatbelt-like material. Again, does the job, particularly for the size of the bag, but it's just not as cushioned as the straps that I'm used to on many of the other packable daily bags that I use, like the Air Go Pack or some of the options from Matador. It's not super breathable. You do have the ability to fully remove these straps. They have some clips that allow you to either remove them completely, adjust the width at the top depending on your neck size, or will also allow you to configure this in a sling bag mode. So you can just use one strap and then just sling this over your shoulder. Over either shoulder is going to work out. It feels a little big as a sling bag in my opinion, but still nice to have the ability to use it in that way if you prefer that as a daily bag. As far as the back, this has felt okay. There's not a ton of padding or breathability here, so if you're traveling to a hotter climate and you're carrying a bunch of stuff in this, your back is going to get pretty sweaty as there's no mesh, no breathability, but for the size of the bag and what you're probably carrying, in general, it's felt decently comfortable if you don't mind the sweat. And on the back here, you also have an additional slip pocket that might be a good spot to place some thinner documentation, folder, or anything that you might need to grab a little bit more quickly. Jumping into the organizational options, I was actually impressed with the variety of pockets that are included, given the more compact and minimal nature of the bag. Similar to the travel pack, you have two kind of quick access compartments on the front with a good amount of volume. So you have one at the bottom here that's pretty deep, and it comes up a decent amount, so great for the bulkier items that I might be grabbing more often, like my sunglasses that I had in the travel bag earlier, a couple of just accessories, deck of playing card, manicure set, and I also tossed in my GoPro. Above that, you have an admin style compartment with some good internal organization. Great for all the tech and EDC items that I might have with me. So you have a good amount of volume to just rest some items here, maybe something a little bit bulkier or pouch. I like that there's these gussets along the sides to prevent anything from falling out accidentally. At the moment, I just have a portable battery and a charging cable there. And on the flap, you have a zippered mesh compartment, great for smaller accessories. In here, I currently have my AirPods, an adapter for charging my laptop, my tablet, my phone. I have the Peak Design mobile tripod that I like to carry with me on trips, and there's also a lanyard with a clip for your keys or a multi-tool. On the back, you have a couple of slip pockets. One is a more elastic sort of mesh pocket that's got a good amount of volume for a bulkier accessory, but what I currently have here is my Samsung hard drive and cable. Next to that, there is a slip pocket where I place my mouse. This slip pocket, like the travel backpack, has a hidden AirTag compartment. You might be able to see it a little bit more easily on this one, but again, I like that this is out of the way and hidden so nobody would kind of think to look there. And on the back, you have a magnetic slip pocket. That's a good spot for something thinner like my notebook, an additional cable. And then at the top, you have one more elastic loop that's gonna be a good spot for a pen. And then moving into the main compartment, this has a zipper that opens up pretty wide. It's not quite clamshell, but still gives you a lot of visibility into the main area. You have the lighter lining to just make it easy to find whatever you need. Pretty simple layout here, but again, an impressive amount given the slim nature of the bag. On the front side, you have the same webbing that we saw in the travel pack that is meant to pair with some of the accessories that PAKT has created with this edition of the bag, some pouches that you can clip on. But if you have other things that use carabiners, you can attach them here. So I have a hand sanitizer as well as the Tom Bin Ghost Roll pouch that I showed earlier that has a clip that just pairs nicely with this area. And then you have a pretty just simple open space here. It's gonna be good for pouches or other items that you're carrying. This is a pouch for Moment, which I just like that the look kind of matches PAKT's aesthetic, but mainly to showcase the space that's offered there. You can see it comes up a decent amount. And then on the back, you have some pretty nice sleeves here that are a little bit more padded. So they are meant to be for your devices. They're pulled up a little bit off the bottom of the ground, so that gives you some peace of mind when you're placing them in and you're placing your bag down a little bit harder. So you have a tablet sleeve on the front. This has my iPad mini with a case. You can see there is some leftover space, so a full-size tablet would likely fit. And next to that, you have a small pocket that's gonna be a great spot for an Apple Pencil or just a regular pen, which I have there. Behind that, you have the laptop sleeve, which, you know, it's not the most rigid or thick padding, but considering that this is a packable bag, I think it strikes a good balance. This should still be able to hold up to a 15 or 16-inch laptop, I believe. Currently, I actually have a 14-inch MacBook Pro, and you can see there's some leftover space at the top. It's got this kind of elastic mesh here, which is a little softer. I guess this is meant to just prevent it from slipping out. I'm not really sure what the primary purpose is, but regardless, it might help keep your device a little more secure. And then, you know, with the amount of space that's offered here, it's very easy to get it in and out. Now with this compartment a little emptier, you can get a better look at the inside. No sort of fleece lining or anything like that, but still with the amount of padding that's offered in the sleeve and the fact that it's pulled up, it feels like my devices should be good while I'm on the go. And then just really like the amount of space that's offered here and the overall layout. Again, it's very impressive how robust this manages to be, given that it's meant to be a more packable day bag. And although it's not the most comfortable of the packable day bags that I've used, I think that it strikes a good balance. It offers a lot of flexibility, and whether you use this on its own with another travel backpack or with PAKT's travel bag, it's gonna be a great companion for your trip. And so to wrap up, it's been a great experience testing out the updated version of the PAKT Travel Backpack and their new 15-liter everyday bag over the past couple of weeks. At the time of filming, you can currently pre-order these on the company's site for about $325 for the travel backpack in the 35-liter size that I showed in this video, and around $185 for the 15-liter everyday bag. And so definitely premium pricing on these. They are a bit of an investment. You are, however, getting some very solidly built travel accessories with a unique feature set that is going to compare well to other similar bags in these price ranges. And so as I was testing these out, they definitely made me think of some of the other travel bags and just travel bag systems that I've looked at on the channel. One of the first ones that comes to mind is the Air Travel Pack 3, which has been one of my favorite travel bags for a long time now. It's just really comfortable, well built, it's got a lot of weather resistance, a really great organizational layout, good laptop protection, it's comfortable to wear. It's got a little bit more of a modern and techie aesthetic compared to the PAKT Travel Backpack, and just a different overall layout with it having a clamshell style opening versus the split opening. But it's a fantastic alternative if you're just looking for a reliable, useful travel bag. Air also has a good ecosystem of packable bags that pair with the travel backpack. One of the best being the Air Go Pack 2, which we looked at pretty recently. That is a really versatile packable bag, super thin and lightweight. I really like how comfortable it is to wear. It has breathable straps and a nice back panel, along with just a really useful organizational layout. Comes in at about 20 liters, so it's gonna be a little bit bigger than this, but still just a really similarly useful packable bag that is a great alternative when you wanna travel with one bag and you need something small to just pack on the inside. Some other bags these made me think of are from Manal. We recently looked at their Carry-On 3.0 and their Daily Bag. Like these bags, those have a really minimal, clean aesthetic that, is very well built. The carry-on backpack comes in at 35 liters, similar to the one that we looked at on this channel. It's got a simpler layout overall. It doesn't have a ton of organization. I don't think that the harness system is going to be quite as comfortable as this one, but it can really hold an impressive amount. It has one of the best laptop systems of any bag on the market. It just really feels like your devices are going to be super well protected, and it's just a durable and useful bag that comes in at a pretty similar price range. Their Daily Bag is also one of the best compact EDC solutions that's on the market. Similar aesthetic and layout to the travel backpack, just in a more compact 20-liter size. It reminds me a little bit of the 15-liter daily bag that PAKT has come out with, in the fact that it's a pretty robust daily carry solution. It's not just a simple packable backpack. It has proper laptop protection, pretty good harness system, clamshell opening, and it's just a really useful accessory that can be paired with the carry-on. It actually fits on the inside of the laptop compartment to create a very capable system, but both of the bags on their own are going to be really solid, capable premium options to check out. And then the last option that I'll mention here is the backpacker set from Salkin, which was a really interesting 2-bag travel system that we looked at recently. That one, like this one's got a more minimal vibe. I'd say that one's even more of a heritage style. It's got that top loading flap, which just gives it a very classic kind of timeless look. I really enjoyed using both of the bags. The travel portion of that system is really a big, capable backpack, a very simple layout. It can extend up to like 50 liters, way bigger than I would typically use. But it comes in at around 40-45 liters when it's not overly packed out, so it can really hold more than enough for a longer trip. It has one of the most comfortable harness systems that I've used of any bag, very adjustable. It's got a super robust waist belt that's also included, so on the comfort front, that one is really tough to beat. And then the daily bag portion also has a super robust harness that's very comfortable. It's gonna be a little bit more comfortable than this daily bag here. One of the things about that though is that it's not meant to pack inside of the larger bag. It actually hooks onto the back or the front. So it's an alternative to traveling with this sort of system where you just put everything inside the one bag. That one, for some people might provide a little bit more flexibility, particularly if you want a more comfortable and kind of hiking friendly day bag when you arrive at your destination. So just a really useful system, very well built, and if you're looking for something kind of like this that's just gonna give you a little more space and flexibility, then that's gonna be a fantastic alternative to consider. With that being said, the updated version of the PAKT Travel Backpack and the new Daily Bag hold up really well against all those options, and I have to say I've been very impressed with the updates. It's definitely a bag that I'm gonna be using a lot over the next few months for some upcoming trips. PAKT has always had a pretty unique aesthetic and layout, and I think that the updates that they've made here really take the bag to the next level. And if you're looking for a durable, comfortable travel backpack, this is gonna be one of the best options that you can check out. And I'm definitely curious to hear what you all think of the updates that PAKT has made to their bags and how they compare to some of the other popular travel bags that are currently on the market. And if there's any similar options that you think that I should check out, as always, please let me know in the comments. And I want to thank the company for sending the bags for me to test out, and to you guys for watching and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos, and we'll see you in the next one.